Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of Let's Play Star Trek Online. This time we are continuing our look at starships and the brand new Ambassador class starship released in the 3rd anniversary of Star Trek Online after playing the mission Temporal Ambassador. We have played that mission and we got our Ambassador Retrofit. The Retrofit is the one you want for level 50 Vice Admiral. The Tier 3 version is for Commander. It's as you're leveling up and playing the game, that one can be used for that. I have previously unboxed this ship and did an entire video about the thought process of getting it equipped and set up with your bridge officer powers and with your consoles and with all your gear. So if you want to see all of that about this ship and see all of the specifications about this ship and how I set it up, you can go watch that video. It's under the Let's Play Star Trek Online special events playlist. Okay, I got all kinds of sounds going on around me. What the heck is going on? Anyway, it's under the special events playlist, and I think it's like the 6th video in the 3rd anniversary series, and it's called Unboxing the Ambassador. If you will watch that video, that is where I unbox the ship and go through all the stuff and how I set it up. So if you want a detailed description of how I set up the Ambassador class, please watch that video. For this video, I'm just going to summarize what I've done because I've made a couple of changes since that video. First of all, I'm not saying that this is the best setup for the ship, just that this is what I'm capable of doing right now, and I think it will be pretty good in STFs. I have not played it at all, so you guys are going to see it for the first time in STFs, or at least this build in STFs, just like I am. So I'm not sure how it's going to hold up, but we'll find out. I have my fleet anti-proton beams. Now, because this is a beam boat and it's mostly beams, and I want that on this character. This is my engineer character. I want a beam type of ship that is a tank basically and has a ton of healing abilities. So that's what I've tried to build. Anyway, the reason why I'm using anti-proton is because beams are not as powerful as cannons, and the only way you can really maximize their benefit is to get all the critical hits you can get, to increase your critical chance for critical hits and then your critical severity, and have that as high as you can possibly have that. And that's the best way to get the most damage from beams because they're severely underpowered when it comes to cannons. So that's why I choose anti-proton, because it has an innate ability to have a higher critical severity. So that is the only reason really why I went with anti-proton. Accuracy, damage times 3, because these are fleet weapons. I also have a rapid reload transphasic torpedo because I do not have any shield draining abilities on my ship. I'm not a science character, and a quantum torpedo will not do much damage to a ship that has its shields up, only if the shields are down. Since I don't have any of those abilities, I can at least get more damage out of the transphasic torpedo because it basically half of its damage goes through shields. It's got a 40% bonus shield penetration. So even if their shields are up, I'm still doing damage with the transphasic torpedo. Now, not as much as a quantum, but still I'm doing damage all the time, whereas a quantum, I could just be hitting their shields and doing nothing. So that's why I went with that. And then on top of that, I went with the Hargpang on the back, because again, that cuts through the shields and it has a secondary explosion that does hull damage on the enemy. So again, that's just another way to bypass the shields because I don't have shield draining abilities on this build. Now for my consoles, I went with 2 field generators to beef up basically the shield capacity, and I just maxed out what I could on tactical consoles with mag regulators and transphasic projectile weapon damage to increase all that. Now for engineering consoles, I got power transfer rate, core CPS, I got my resistance, and because I'm doing a lot of beams, they drain power a lot, and I got 6 of them on here, so I did a power console. Now this could easily be changed to something else. I was actually thinking about this today. One change I would make is in the low-buy store, I would get the tachyonetic converter and maybe put that there, because the tachyonetic converter, just like the assimilated module from the Borg, increases your critical chance and critical severity. You can see the assimilated module does that. Well, so the tachyonetic converter also does that. So it adds on to that, which is awesome. Plus, it adds a turn rate buff. So it's on this ship, the turn rate is a little bit lower than what I'm used to. So if I wanted to increase my turn rate and get more critical chance and critical severity, the tachyonetic converter from the low-buy store would be an excellent addition to this ship. And when I get enough low-buy, that might be a purchase I make if I'm going to keep this ship. Anyway, so that's what I got there. Now for the stations, again, remember I previously had the Excelsior Retrofit ship, and on that ship I had a Lieutenant Commander tactical space, and I used high yield 3 basically to beef up my torpedoes, right? Well, I lost that ability on the Ambassador because it takes away the Lieutenant Commander tactical station and adds a Lieutenant Commander science station, which is for me kind of useless on this particular character and the way I'm trying to build this ship. However, it at least allows me to get a more healing, and as you can see, I went with user suggestions in the forum, and a lot of people suggested I get Hazard Emitters 3 for that Lieutenant Commander science power. So I went ahead and got that trained, and now I've got awesome healing on this ship. I got Hazard Emitters 3, I got Science Team, I got a Polarized Hull, Auxiliary Power to Structural Integrity Field, Engineering Team 2. So I got a lot of heals on this ship. Now for damage, I've got Eject Warp Plasma 2, Aceton Beam, Beam Fire at Will 1, Beam Array Overload 2, and then of course Tactical Team. And then I always like to have my emergency power to engines, because this ship turns slower than the one I'm used to. So combining this with that at the same time, I can turn really fast. So that's my basic build on this ship. Oh, and also I've got the Mark 12 Mako shield, engine, and deflector. Again, that's good for the Borg because it has that innate plasma resistance. So looking at my specs, here's what we're sitting at. 54,494 hull. Not bad hull. It's got a good hull regen rate. I'm sitting at 11,600 shields, thanks to these two things. I would like to get another Mark 12. Actually, I'd like to get 2 Mark 12 very rares. It would be awesome, but you know how expensive those are. And then my resist, I'm at 25%. And then on these consoles, again, I would love to have Mark 12 very rare consoles, but gosh, they're just so expensive. I can't afford it right now, you know? So that's my setup for right this second. Let's go to full impulse. My attack, 15% bonus accuracy, 6.4% critical chance, 59, almost 60% crit severity. Movement is 9.3 degrees a second. So now when I combine this and this, look how fast I can turn, you see, with both of those powers, and that's what I like. But now, because this is a beam ship, I can actually fire from the side a lot. My enemy can be like over here, and I can fire all 6 beams at them, and then turn around and fire torpedoes at them. So that's kind of the strategy I'm thinking about for this ship. But anyway, that is just a brief summary of how I have set this up. Again, not the best build probably, and there's probably a ton of different builds and ways you could make the Ambassador, but this is one way I think could be successful. And so now we are going to play it in all the STFs: Infected, Cure Space Elite, and Kit and Record. So I'm going to pause and stay tuned. I'm going to queue up for Infected Space Elite. And welcome back, everybody. Here we go for Infected Space Elite in the Ambassador class, Enterprise C. which I have funnily named the TARDIS C. Yes, I'm not that creative, but there we go. Okay, so if I blow up, nobody laugh, okay? Wow.
We will add your technological and biological distinctiveness to our own.
I love that beam fire at will. That thing rocks!
Shields have failed.
Go, Harpain, go! No, we weren't ready yet.
Disarm your weapons. You will escort us to your home world, where we begin assimilating your culture and technology.
Yes. Successful plasma and Harpain. I keep forgetting how slow this ship turns. That's taking a bit of getting used to be honest with you. Whoa, beam fire at will. And I got some hazard emitter 3. Whoa, okay.
Rear shields failing.
I survived all that damage, and I survived. Wow, that was a blast. I took a lot of damage there, but noticed I was able to pull myself out of it with this ship. And those abilities that I have definitely survived that one. Yeah, as I was saying, oh, now the gate has me. Stupid
Target's
gates.
shields have failed. Right shield's failing.
I hate the gates.
Hull integrity below 50%. Hull integrity below 75%.
Ooh, look how I survived that. Now that was an awesome survival. Well, that was intense. Dude, not quite ready yet. He's like totally attacking this, and not quite ready.
Warning. Ship is under attack. Rear shield's failing.
Alright. There we go. As I was trying to say, the movement is a little slow with this ship. The Excelsior Retrofit is a tad more responsive and definitely turns faster. So I'm trying to get used to that with this ship. I knew I was going to blow up. That was kind of intense there. I was going to try to warp plasma that entire group of spheres and shot forward and got myself into a bit of trouble there. And now we've aggroed the cube, which generally at this point you don't tackle yet, but looks like we have to right now. There we go. Look at all that stuff being done to that cube. Wow. Let's hit it with a harpang, shall we? Turn around to the rear and fire a harpang. There we go.
Right shield's failing.
Nice.
Right shield's failing. 4 shields failing.
Good gosh. That gate hits so hard.
Warning. Ship is en route to hull integrity below 75%.
Yes. Success. Very nice, very nice. Sweet. Okay. I get all my stuff and we take everything down with time to spare, so we're good. Alright, so my thoughts about the Enterprise C or Ambassador class retrofit in the first Elite STF I've ever done with it. I have to get used to the slower turning speed and the slower responsiveness of it, like this. See, I'm trying to turn here, trying to turn all the way around. Takes so much time. So it's like, wow, look at that. So that is what I have to get used to. If I use both of those together, I can turn pretty fast, but then I have to wait for them to cool down before I can use them again. So my Excelsior retrofit was a bit more responsive, and this one is a bit slower. However, I was able to take quite a bit of damage, and I have a lot of Healy stuff. You know, all this Healy stuff I have really helped. I only blew up once. Damage, I wouldn't say I'm doing the most damage, but I mean, it's beams, and I've got the best beams you can possibly get. So, I mean, I'm doing the best I can. I would like to have a higher grade of beam fire at will. I would like to have level 2 or 3, but of course that will never happen. I mean, I can have level 2 and then do level 1 beam overload instead, but I'm never going to straight up go to tier 3 on any of these abilities because the tactical consoles are lacking. And of course that I do at least have eject warp plasma, so that helps slow enemies down. That's good. I need that. So far it's okay. I think it moves faster than the Galaxy class at least, but so far I'm still leaning toward the Excelsior retrofit as my favorite ship, just because it has that Lieutenant Commander tactical slot, which allows me to have a tier 3 tactical ability. And right now I have nothing for my torpedoes, for example. I don't have torpedo high yield or torpedo spread. And at least with the Excelsior, see, I can have that. I usually have torpedo high yield 3. And with this ship I can't do that. So that's a bit of a bummer, but anyway, that's our first look at running this thing in an Elite STF. And Now it will be time to run this thing, and the other is going to do Cure Space Elite next after I heal my damage, and then we'll do Kitamura Cord. So that is the Ambassador and Infected Space Elite. Please stay tuned for the next.